What it do, man? Listen, this is the King Me Pod, and I'm your host, B.
And I'm Q to Don.
And listen, man, we got a real simple, I don't know what to say it, man. We just gonna kind of coast through the day today, man. But before we actually really get started, man, I really wanna put a plug in and talk about some of the things that happened this past week with I don't know, somebody did a correlation of 2021, January the 6th, with the Capitol. Donald Trump had some of the MAGAs went and stormed the Capitol, right? And then somebody put that correlation, 2021 to like 2026. And, you know, we had Donald Trump sent the troops into Venezuela to attain the president of Venezuela, which some people feel like it's some people feel like he kidnapped the president and his wife. Personally, I feel the exact same way. But I really wanted to kind of highlight this part, right? Because there's a lot of things kind of going on around our country, and sometimes, you know what I'm saying, we don't know what to do. Sometimes I believe we don't feel like it affect us directly, you know what I'm saying, because the way we view the world. See, we got this small part in this world, man, and in our life, it's a small part, but the world is much bigger than what we live in, and a lot of things kind of going on and transpire, and then we don't see the trickle effect, how it affect us. But at some point in time, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna affect us. And then not only it's gonna affect us, it's gonna affect our livelihood. And you might be wondering, like, why am I speaking about this, right? Well, I'm speaking about this because, you know, it's certain things that we personally can do, you know what I'm saying, as citizens. Like, you know, get involved with our local politician, you know what I'm saying, what's going on in our community and stuff like that. And really actually get involved, right? Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, we all are here together, no matter your race, your religion. Like, listen, we all come together, man. And, you know, sometimes the government has its way of kind of doing things, and they look at us as numbers. And truthfully, we all got to stick together, man. So I just want to put that plug in for everybody, man, just to just pray. You know what I'm saying? This is a time of prayer. Like, pray like you never did before. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we don't really know what going to be the outcome of everything. You know what I'm saying? But, man, we just got to band together as one. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I wanted to put in. I know this was a long, drawn-out, dramatic, you know what I'm saying, speech, but, you know, I just wanted to plug that in. Q, how your day was, man?
My day was pretty
Your
good.
week?
My day was pretty good. Week was pretty good. I got to speak on what you just said. I think a lot of the stuff that the government do nowadays is very divisive, very tactical, in trying to get us to be separate. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every time you get on the internet, for some reason or another, we got this group fussing with that group, these people fussing with those people. At the end of the day, man, a lot of the same stuff affect all of us. So we got to kind of get over that politicking thing that make us go against each other, because like you said, man, everybody need to band together and become, to the best of our ability, one community, because we all going against the same oppressors. Like, I don't care how you try to look at it. And another thing, and I just got to be real, white America and black America, it's two different places, I understand, but it's the same place. But they want us to be at war with each other so bad, because if they can do the job and make us be at war with each other, then they winning on both ends. So, man, like I said, it's enough going on in your regular personal life, man. We ain't got to be beefing with each other.
We don't, and I totally agree. And something else actually happened this week, something contradictory with the ICE. And listen, y'all, this ain't a typical show where we talk about politics, but there's so much been kind of going on, and I really actually want to address which, you know, they got something on their hand with this situation, because for one, you got if y'all haven't seen the video, before I go in details, man, I just want to express my condolences to the family the young
Most
lady
definitely.
who got killed. Well, they scratched that. Let me go back, because I see a lot of people say unalive that got unalive by ICE. Listen, it's unfortunate that right there kind of through them circumstances, like it happened that way. You know what I'm saying? But I would say this, in my opinion, the way I look at it, it looked like she was driving off to the right. She would listen to her wife, and drove off. Now, what made that officer shoot 3 shots in the car is beyond me. Knowing that he wasn't in any type of danger, that really kind of made me felt some type of way. And so right now, I feel like it about to be some tension in America, because for one, you got LGBTQ. I believe that young lady was a part of the LGBTQ community, and the other part is, she happened to be Caucasian. You know what I'm saying? And I told somebody yesterday that I said the first time in history, you know what I'm saying, white people actually really feel how black people feel. Because, hear me out now. Reason why I say this is because, like, now they trying to paint this young lady as the aggressor, right? And she was just driving off. Now, we seen the video, and we really, and if you seen the video, y'all can see that this lady was not the aggressor, right? But the media try to pin her as the aggressor. She was very aggressive in the situation, right? Now, I know that make y'all feel some type of way. And if that make y'all feel some type of way, just imagine how many black Americans been shot down in the streets by police. Imagine that. And if you feel the weight of that, which you should, if you're human, you should feel the weight of that. You know what I'm saying? That's how the average black American feel. That's how we feel, man. And so many other words.
Even to the point of, man, upstanding citizens and everything. But man, when we get stopped by police, because of our skin complexion, because of the way my hair is, because of the way you may look,
Yeah.
what they may presume us to be, man, that's a scary thing in itself. So like you said, if you feel some type of way about this situation, think about every time a young black male is stopped by a cop. We have to wonder, am I doing everything right? Is this gonna be the day when they do something to me? Like even in your innocence, is this gonna be the day because I fit the description of what they say a gangster, a thug look like, even though I'm an upstanding citizen. So man, like I definitely agree with you on that point, man.
Man, listen, another part too, man, like I was just looking at some stuff, like I don't understand the left wing, right wing thing, but the right wing is tend to be more Christian, like, you know what I'm saying, follow Christ and follow the principles of, what I'm saying, Christians. And the thing is, they are the main ones who like really justify how ICE handled that situation. They justify and saying they handle it in the right way. And I'm like, man, like we have gotten to this point where, dang, like y'all ain't human, man. Like y'all ain't feel like I understand you see it, but you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Like that could be in your family member, right?
And then the fact,
and you gonna justify that talking about like, she should have just complied. She should have just complied. Like, come on, man. Like that woman was not aggressive at all. And it grieves me, man, just to see a lot of some of my peers and a lot of people who actually speaking out about this situation and feel like the officer from ICE is justified by his action. And those are the main people that are Christian, man, like, and say they follow Christ with no type of feeling, no compassion, no nothing. Like, y'all don't feel nothing about this situation? Like, you just gonna go along with the agenda because, you know what I'm saying, you're a right wing or, you know what I'm saying, you Republican? It's no way you can sit here and you agree with everything that Donald Trump been doing, man. It's no way you're gonna sit here and feel like you agree with everything. Because if you do, man, I need for you to look in the mirror, man, and you definitely need to go repent. Now I know it felt like I'm going on a soapbox, man. I'm compassionate about this thing, man.
Nah. And see, to your point, man, just the fact of, like you said, it's a lot of Christian, but we also have to remember too, a lot of stuff is biblical. The Bible say in the last days, the love of many shall wax cold. So it used to be a time where you would see somebody get killed or hear about somebody getting killed, whether you knew them or not, whether you seen the footage or not, that you would kind of have compassion and you would feel for them. But we just living out the Bible times, bro. And sometimes I think that goes over our head, man. You know, people don't love like they used to, man. And people have become lovers of themselves. It ain't happened to me and mine, so it don't really matter. But you don't feel until it come down your street, bro.
Right.
You don't feel it until it's one of the people in your neighborhood, because I'm sure everybody that something happens to feel like, oh, I ain't never got to worry about it. That ain't gonna never happen to me. If you live long enough, you don't know what predicament you might be in. You don't know what situation you might be in. So show your sympathy, show your empathy, man, because like I said, it can happen to anybody. And the fact that we're policing our own people as though we're in a third world country is crazy. So don't feel like because that happened where it happened that it can't never happen on your front steps, man. So that's my spiel on it.
I agree, man. But moving along, man, I just had want to kind of put that out there, man, for the ones, that have been following everything that been kind of transpiring over these past few weeks. But Q, man, listen, I was on the way here to the studio, I was trying to think of something to speak about, but I ain't really had any particular topic in mind. I actually just wanted to talk, actually, man. That's why I was just thinking, because you're a young man, and and I recognize that younger people have a level of challenge, you know what I'm saying, that's kind of been going on for a while now, you know what I'm saying? And I really just actually wanted to talk and see some of the challenges as a young man in this world, man, some of the things that you kind of going through. And I know you just came out your 20s, so, you 30, right?
Yeah.
And so, I didn't know if you want me to put your age out
No,
there.
I don't care, bro.
But, I know, and in the 30s, man, I kind of learned a lot. And I seen something that Jill Scott said. I don't know if you seen it, man. Let me see if I can find it right quick. And she said something and about what people should do in their 30s. And let me see if I can find it, man. I might can't even. She was doing an interview. I wish it'd pull up how she felt about something. Anyway, she was speaking to what men and women should do in they should be at some point in time in their 30s, but she may be in her 50s, and I'm thinking she was saying that because I can't really actually pull it up right quick. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I probably ain't gonna be able to pull it up. But anyway, she was just saying that in your 30s, you should be a little more, you should know what you want at this point, you know what I'm saying, stage in your life. And I just want to ask you, man, what's some of the challenges you've been having, man, like,
honestly,
in this day and age?
Honestly, I think the biggest challenge with us in our age bracket is, for one, opportunities and finances. Really, really, to me, those will be the biggest challenges. Because I was having a discussion with some older guys actually yesterday, and we were just talking about these guys are roughly, I think they're in their from anywhere from the age of maybe 50 to like 70. We outside in the yard, we just kicking it. We just got on they were saying how this time period we got it made, like we way farther along than them. And I'm like, y'all say that, but y'all don't look at it from our perspective. Now I know every generation had and has had their challenges and all of that, but I feel like with us, man, one of the topics that came up, the guy was like, Mr. Lee was like, well, when I first started working, I think he said the minimum wage was $3 and something. I said, that's cool. So I asked him, I said, how long ago was this? He said 40 plus years. I said, now, you said 3 something. I said, in 40 years, we've only gone to 725. I said, but the price of stuff has gone up 700%. So he was like, but yeah, y'all can make more money. Then there's the problem with the opportunities. So if you go to school and all of that, the first thing they want to say is, you need experience. First, you need a degree. You go get your degree. Now you need experience. So it's like, at no point do it ever feels like we can kind of get over the hurdle. Like that, and to me, that's been like the most challenging and difficult part. Like for us, it feel like the goalposts keep on getting moved.
Right.
Like when you young, they tell you, man, you go work hard, you can attain this, you can obtain that. The average price of a house to own a home is roughly about $300,000, which is you telling somebody, and I understand we in our 30s. Well, when you get to 30, they feel like you should be kind of getting on the other side of things. That works when the goalposts don't keep on getting moved. So at the end of the day, whenever we sitting here and we like, okay, in order for a young person to get an apartment, they got to make 3 times that rent. When the average price of stuff is $900, $1,000, $1,200, you know, it's those type of prices. So now you telling somebody fresh out of school or with no schooling, no secondary schooling, like you got to make this type of money. So you're like, man, I can't get no clean start. Like, so for me, that's been like the most difficult part, like navigating in our time period, just, you know, finances. And we don't know a lot of stuff about finance. We don't know about anything that we learning for the most part is we learning by ourselves, like high yield savings and stuff like that. So we trying to learn that, trying to navigate life, and just getting opportunities. And that's to me, that's about the hardest part.
So the opportunity is very rare. Well, you know, it's funny that you speak on that. And I know a lot of times, I guess it all depends. Me and my wife was talking about, you know, stuff like that. We actually was talking about this subject a while ago, man, like last year. And, you know, she was talking about South Carolina, in particularly Florence. And she was speaking on, like, she feel like Florence is more of a retirement place, you know what I'm saying? But at one point in time, we had some major industries here that went out of business. And most of the business went out of business during 2008 when the stock market crashed, when the housing market crashed and everything kind of went down. But I want to say is, you ever thought about the opportunity of just moving and going to other cities? Of course, you still risk the fact that cost of living might be a lot more, but the opportunities might be, you know, vast.
I've thought about that before, because sometimes you could feel like a lion in the cage that ain't big enough.
Yeah.
So in that thought process too, I also had this thought, sometimes wherever God plants you at, you got to try to bloom there. Like, and I know that sounds like kind of crazy saying that being as to what I just said, but sometimes you got to try to bloom there, because there's no written rule that says if I go this place, it might work out better, because you got a million other people trying to go to the same place for the same opportunity.
True.
So it's a complex thing, man. Like I said,
you really got to be. I believe the word of God said, and I believe it's in Psalms. God ordered my steps, and like really in this day and time, man. Even more so back in the day, I be thinking about like Abraham, like how like, you know what I'm saying, like God told him to leave from his kindred folks, and then, you know what I'm saying, and he ain't had no sense of direction and way to go. He just went away, you know what I mean, and you know, in those times, men really had to lean on God during that time, because can you imagine God telling you leave and you got everything right here, like, because you know you comfortable, so he telling you to leave out your comfortable place, you know what I'm saying, and I got more for you. And he went out, and then, you know, I guess between him and his cousin, they got into it a lot. They got into it, him and his his maze and everything else got into each other, and so they split, right?
Right.
But then that's when God spoke to him again and say, look to the east, west, north, south. Like, this is what I give you. So I'm like, God, I don't see nothing. Cause it wasn't no buildings or nothing like that.
Right.
It wasn't nothing. So,
and for them is like wilderness.
Yeah,
but,
it was wilderness, yo.
But it mimics real life sometimes for us.
Yeah. It does.
Sometimes God will tell you to step out and bro, it looked like wilderness. But how many of us are actually willing to do that, take that step if he tell you to? And so, like you said, the big thing is, Lord, order my steps. A lot of times we in bad situations because we order our own steps.
Yeah.
Like we don't hear from God. God don't give us the instruction. But if it's something that we want to do, and a lot of times people love to bring up this scripture in the Bible, he will give you the desires of your heart. That's cool, but your desires have to line up with his will for your life.
Yeah.
That's why in that prayer, it said, the motto prayer says, thine will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So sometimes what we aspire to be and what we dream to be, it ain't gonna be so. And so that's why I said earlier, sometimes you have to, wherever God plants you at, you have to become the flower that bloom wherever he plants you at.
Yeah.
Be the fruit wherever he plants you at, because what I perceive for my life might not be what it is that God put me on earth for. So I might not reach 1 million people, and I have to learn to be okay with that. I might just be that person that reaches the people within my grasp.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm gonna tell you what this remind me of. That what you just said, what remind me of is Joseph. Dad, Jacob. No, it wasn't not Jacob.
Is it a coat?
No, yeah. Is that Jacob's son, Joseph?
Bro, I forget. Is the brothers hating?
Yeah, it's the brother.
Yeah, I think that's Joseph.
Yeah,
I think that's Joseph.
That's Joseph, right? And for you Bible scholars, man, y'all probably know Joseph. Like, his situation what you just said made me thought about Joseph, because Joseph, his brothers, his own people, man, conspires against him, man, because he had a level of favoritism or favor. You can use that. You can break it down, man, and feel like he got favor from God, but he got favor from, his father. And his father really favored him, and they was jealous, So they end up selling him off to, slavery. But what I want to highlight is the fact that Joseph, in every situation, he find favor of God, and not only that, he reached to someone, he inspired someone in his worst. If you think about it, he was in his worst situation, man, and he find the favor of God in the midst of that. And it made me thought about what you just said, because you was like, maybe it just meant for you to reach who you was going to reach, but it is a long-term goal ahead, what God trying to get you to. Sometimes you just got to be disciplined, and let me scratch that. Be obedient in the season that you're in right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, maybe it is all the way over there,
right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Which Joseph ended up getting there, but it took him about 20 plus years to get to that place.
Right. And to your point, man, a lot of times I think where this generation does mess up at is social media. Because everybody tells you by the time you 35, you should be this.
Yeah.
God's timing is not our timing. And the Bible tells us that. So at the end of the day, what you perceive for your life again, it might be what God told you, but like you said, the timing might not be right, because you could plant a seed today. That don't mean you're going to get fruit tomorrow.
Right.
So sometimes the Bible says, be not weary in well doing, in the part that we always miss, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. In due season. And what we tend to do, myself included, is,
right.
Man, when is it going to be my season, man? It should be my season now. Especially when you're looking at everybody else being blessed. It's hard to be content when you're watching everybody else be blessed, and you're like, Lord, I'm faithful, I'm dedicated, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. When it's your season, you shall reap what you planted. So at the end of the day, man, sometimes I have to tell myself, you keep the faith in. Wherever you at, don't pout about it. Wherever you at, work where you at. Don't just because and then psychologically speaking, a lot of people can't take what they think they're ready for. Because at the end of the day, You want to be a millionaire, you can't even, you're not a good steward with what God gave you. You want a mansion, you don't even keep your one bedroom clean.
Yeah.
So you got to learn to be a good steward wherever you are and whatever. The Apostle Paul said, I learned to be content in whatever state I'm in. So at the end of the day, God, if you don't elevate me to what my will or where I want to be, let me learn to be content wherever I'm at. Because at the end of the day, although life may be this, I got breath in my body, I got use and activities in my limb, so I'm still blessed.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand that no matter what circumstance you in, what circumstance you facing, you still blessed. Because I guarantee you, you can find 100 more people who will take your situation and say, you know what? Let's trade spots. So either way, we bless. And sometimes it's about perspective and how you look at it. Glass half empty or half full. So that's how I try to keep it balanced too.
Man, you said so much. There's so many layers to what you just said, man. But these are some of the things that, as you kind of press on, and I'm sure you got a goal in mind where you want to be at. And sometimes you can't even look at the time period. Like sometimes we give ourselves I should be at this place at this time, and this place at this time. And man, one thing somebody said this, man. Somebody told me this: if you want to make God laugh, try to plan your life out. Like, and I was like, at first I didn't get that joke, but I get it though, man. As I kind of got older, and I realized, like, you have all these plans for your life, and then realize that God had a totally different plan for your life, man. And sometimes through life, you just things reroute. Like you doing this and doing that, doing this, and God really, curving you to where he wants you to be at, man. And it seemed like it all makes sense once you get there. Sometimes you don't really realize.
Because we don't ever walk this life in a straight line. Because I'm sure you could look at some stuff that has happened in your life, and at the moment of impact when it happened, you was like, dang, why this happened? And now that you look at it, you like, if this wouldn't have happened, that wouldn't have happened, and I couldn't have been blessed in this way. So it always, like you said, bro, it works itself out.
Yeah, it do work itself out.
It works itself out, man. And I think sometimes, like I said, we're a little too hard on ourselves, because saying you should have it together at 30 years old is kind of a crazy thought when you really think about it, saying like,
yeah,
I should have my house on the hill. I should have a 22,000 square foot home. I should have all the cars that I want. At 30 years old, that's kind of like, and then comparison is the thief of joy. If your mental is not strong enough to be, and I say this all the time, if you're not mentally strong enough to be on social media, if you can't look at somebody else and be like, that's good for them, and just keep it at that, don't look at this stuff. Because it'll wear you down. And I always give the same analogy. You could be proud of your house, pleased with your house. Man, you start watching HGTV long enough, after a while you start looking at your house, you know what? I could do this, I could do, you never gonna find comfort in what you have, because you're always comparing. So just try to be, content wherever you at, and be the best wherever you are. Always still strive to grow, but understand that it's a race, it's a marathon. It ain't no sprint.
It's definitely a marathon. I mean, I'm 40 years old, man, and there's a lot of things. I did that to myself early on. One of the things I realized, being ambitious, it have its drawbacks too, because sometimes you can be so ambitious till you won't appreciate what you got now and what God has done for you now. So you always trying to strive for the very next thing, and that very, instead of, soaking everything in at that moment, about, what things God have blessed you with now, what you have now. And sometimes, I'm gonna tell you, prayer really, starting off early in the morning with prayer and just thanking God for all the things. Like, I'm gonna tell you, man, like, just thanking God, like, Lord, I thank you, God, for waking me up this morning. You put breath in my lungs. I'm able to step out the bed, you know what I'm saying, and go to the bathroom, man. Some of the stuff, as you continue to pray and just be thankful for, like, just the small things, you realize, like, man, God been really keeping his hands over me. Like, it's just simple stuff, bro.
It is.
Like, I'm sitting here thinking about this thing, like, you know what I'm saying? I've been on this earth for 40 years. I just talking to my grandma about this, because she just turned 78 years old. And I told her, I said, Grandma, I asked her in 7, 8 years, what you learn? And she was just talking to me, just laughing and stuff like that, man. But I told grandma, I said, one thing for sure, man. One thing is evident. I said, well, every time I see somebody like at this stage in their life, like, man, God been keeping you for 7 to 8 years. I said, you've been driving up and down this highway. He kept you from accidents. He kept you from, you know what I'm saying? You had a stroke at one point in time, you know what I'm saying? And you still here in your right mind. You know what I'm saying? Man, God's a keeper. And
Man, I'm telling you.
and at some point in time, you'll kind of realize that, like, if you take time just to think and just thank him, man, there's so much stuff, man. And then it puts you in a mindset of gratitude, you know what I'm saying, and happy. And now you ain't comparing that, because now you realize, like, man, God been blessing me with this and that. Of course, I need a new car. Of course, I need some tires. You know what I'm saying? But, man, I got a car.
I'm blessed in spite of. I got joy in spite of. And see, that's the thing about it.
Yeah.
Joy. Man, it's a lot of stuff that people used to say when I was younger that I didn't understand until I got older. Right. Like joy, man. Despite of this situation, despite of what I'm going through, I still got joy, because my old lady said something today, and when we got home, I was like, yo, she really, like, that really hit me. She said, man, I just thank God for making it back home today. And I'm kind of like, yeah, me too. She said, no. It's somebody that left their house today, or it's somebody that's going to leave their house today, and they're not going to make it back home. And after she said that, I said, yo, bro, we are blessed. Like, and if you could ever stop sometime, and that's what I think a lot of people need to start focusing on, especially the people in my age bracket. Of course, you got all the goals. You be just as ambitious as you want to be. Hopefully, you obtain everything that your heart desires. But take the time, either every day or every week. I would prefer every day to say, yo, I'm blessed. I can do this. Man, we listen to a song that say, you got your legs, you can walk, you got the tongue, you can talk. You're blessed. Because I work in the medical field. I've been in places where I work with intellectually disabled people. I've been in places where I leave the house like I am now, talking in right state of mind. Something happens. They choke on a piece of food, and now they're at a facility. They can't even think like they used to think. So the things that we consider very small, minute, man, start being grateful for that stuff, because it's some people that ain't got that no more.
Yeah. And that's the reason why I was saying, like, sometimes we just got to start off our day with gratitude. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Very early in the morning, man. Early in the morning. But I want to pivot. What are your thoughts about let me get your opinion on what you think a disciplined man, what that would look like to you. You know what I'm saying? A disciplined man.
First off, discipline
and just always.
Discipline to me is simply being able to refrain. And so you can take discipline and put it whatever area that you want to put it in, whether it be sexual discipline, financial discipline, being able to refrain. That's and I think that's one of the hardest part for anybody to beat is your natural will, your sinful ways, your sinful nature, and also just financially speaking, get a little bit of money. You told that, oh, you only live once, so you might as well do this. If you could ever get to the point where you're disciplined, where you can refrain, man, you're a powerful man. You're a powerful being. So for me, it's just that's something that comes with practice. You got to practice it over and over and over and over. Man, just being able to refrain, bro.
So I guess my second question is, if you was able to be disciplined, what would Kanye look like at his disciplined state? Like
to me, man, and this sounds cheesy. I hate this answer, but I really don't know, man, because I'm not perfect, but I try to practice good discipline in all areas of my life. Sometimes I might not meet the mark, but I try to practice good discipline. But I'm one of those type of people. This is gonna sound like really like lack of ambition. There was a point in time where I was so ambitious where I couldn't enjoy life, where I couldn't enjoy the now where I couldn't enjoy nothing because I'm always, what's next, what's next? And then I had a conversation with my old lady, and she was just like, you got to get out of that. You got to learn to live in the now, be thankful for the now, and let God order your steps. So for me, I don't know what it'll look like for me because, like I said, I'm not perfect with discipline, of by no means, but I do pretty decent with it. So I don't really know because I'm not really pressing for anything. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just trying to do the right things so whenever God do decide to bless me, I can be blessed. So I don't really know, bro. How about you?
So the reason why I asked this question is because one of the things that I realized, you know, like as we was just talking and stuff like that, like I imagine myself, who is Brandon? Like, you know what I'm saying? What can I be? What can I achieve? You know what I'm saying? And it can just be, you know, finances, that's just the core of a man, you know what I'm saying? What makes up a man. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time it be finances, you know what I'm saying? I guess it's job. I put job with finances, you know, able to attain his health and maintain his health to the best of his ability. And then the other part is how he is as a family man, if he have a family, or if he not single. If you single, you know what I'm saying, these things may look a little different. You may be your ambitious, well, what you think of yourself might look a lot different, you know what I'm saying, or what you want to achieve in life, you know what I'm saying. And I truly believe everybody it's something that they want to achieve out of life. This is the reason why I brought this question up, because it's a few things I want to achieve in my own personal life, right? But what's in the way of me achieving some of these things is a level of discipline, you know what I'm saying? And most of the time, if you think about it, and it all boils down to is being disciplined. How, you know what I'm saying, how you are, laser focused on certain things, you know what I'm saying? And it could just be in that moment. It don't have to be like your whole life. But if you want to achieve something out of life, like, you know what I'm saying, like sometimes you're going to have to be laser focused on it. And so for me, discipline is a man that is focused, and anything could kind of transpire and happen in his life, and he can go through all types of stuff, but he's so disciplined that he still stay focused. Not, it don't mean that he won't, you know what I'm saying, feel so many things that happening, but, you know, he's a man on a mission, you know what I'm saying? And so for me, the things that I want to achieve, you know what I'm saying, of course, you know what I'm saying, with this, you know, this podcast, men group that I have, you know what I'm saying, I want to see that thrive. Most of this stuff is kind of God ordained. And what I'm saying is, like, a lot of things kind of transpired last year, and I wasn't as consistent with, you know what I'm saying, with putting stuff out, you know what I'm saying? Why? Because things happen. You know what I'm saying? Things happen and kind of get you off, you know what I'm saying? But truth of the matter is, when things, a lot of times, that can be the enemy throwing you off. Why? Because he know your patterns. You know what I'm saying? He know, if I can distract you on this right here, left hand right here, you know what I'm saying, you know, he ain't gonna focus on this right here no more. You know what I'm saying? And this is the reason why I want to bring up discipline, is because, you know, the enemy, just because you discipline ain't gonna stop the enemy from coming to kind of distract you. You know what I'm saying? But you just gotta know that, hey, listen, God told me to do this right here. That's what I'm gonna do. It might slow you down, but you stay focused. And a lot of times you can kind of, you know, in my personal opinion, you know, being here for 40 years and looking at my life, there's a lot of things I started, and then things happened throughout my life, and then I got pulled away from it. And, you know what I'm saying, I came up with so many different excuses, but the truth of the matter is, it boiled down to I wasn't disciplined. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I do realize is opportunities don't come as easy. Sometimes you won't see the same opportunity again. Then God had already kind of move on from that situation, because that's in the past now. But he gonna always kind of give you the next thing. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying. You don't want to fumble the thing that God gave you in the moment right now. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is, wherever that may be. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm probably speaking to someone, you know what I'm saying, if you're watching this and you at this point in stage in the in the podcast, like I know it's something God gave you personally that that, you know what I'm saying, you put it on the shelf and things happen. You had all types of stuff transpire in your life, man. And listen, I get it, you know what I'm saying? But this video right here is an indication that God telling you to pick that thing back up, man, because he ain't done with you yet. And he wants you, and because that he ain't done with you yet, it's people that God encounter got you, that called to you, you know what I'm saying, that need for you to be obedient and be disciplined to pick it back up. So,
boy, I ain't gonna lie to you. Most of the time I got something to say, boy. Hey, I ain't got nothing to say after that one, man. You rocked out on that one, man. I got to try to find something to say.
Nah, man.
Lord have mercy. Man, you were preaching just now. That's like when after somebody deliver the word, ain't no need for you. It's good by itself.
Nah, man. You know,
Cook. Let them cook. Go ahead.
Well, it hit me. It hit me hard because I know there's certain things in my life that God called me to that. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things. I got many titles. You know what I'm saying? I'm a father. I'm a husband. You know what I'm saying? And I get involved in my community, church, stuff like that. So and these are just titles. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, God really gave everybody a talent, something that he placed that in you that nobody else have. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to use your gift, whatever that is, though. You know what I'm saying? And you know what it is because when I just said it, it resonated with you and it came to your mind like, and that's the Holy Spirit telling you. You know what I'm saying? That's the Holy Spirit telling you to reconnect with that thing that God gave you, man. You know what it is. And I ain't got to speak no more on that because I know you know what it is.
Man, I feel like the way you looking in that camera, the way you speaking, God done told you something. And whoever watching this or whoever shall listen to it, it's going to be somebody that hear this or see this that's going to be like, yo, he talking to me. So, man, I'm going to tell you, bro, if you ain't got no more, bro, I really ain't even got nothing else to say. Yeah. I'm going to be real, man, because I feel like you cooking and there is no need for me to add anything, man. You got it, bro. Okay. The floor is yours. If you feel like going off some more, go off some more.
No, I'm good because God ain't really, Holy Spirit ain't gave me nothing else to say after that, man. I just had wanted to plug that in for my listeners, man. Listen, if you rocking out with this podcast, man, you love this podcast, and it been changing the way you look at things, changing your perspective, you know what I'm saying? Please do us a favor. Share this podcast with other people that you connect with, that you love. Do your brother a favor. You know what I'm saying? Do your husband a favor. Do your brother a favor. You know what I'm saying? If you women that listen to this, man, we just two men who just God called to, you know what I'm saying, to talk and speak to men in particular that, you know what I'm saying, God gave us this love. God put Q in my life, man, and we've been rocking out, man. So just do that one thing, man, and I think that's it, though.
Man, that's it, man. We out.
All right.
Bro, I'm gonna be real. I ain't nothing else.